President Trump just canceled $1 billion in federal funding going to Cornell University, which means that as of today, every single school in the Ivy League is facing a financial crisis. So I'm going to walk you guys through what the implications of that are going to be and why I think in the next admission cycle, ROTC is going to be the best way for students to get in. If you don't work in higher ed, you probably didn't know this, but a huge percentage of a university's budget comes directly from the federal government. And in some Ivy League schools, this was over 20% of the funding they received. Now, you guys might think that these kinds of funding cuts aren't a big deal, right? Ivy League schools have billion-dollar endowments. They can just pull the money from there. But that's not how endowments work. You can only withdraw a very small percentage at a time. So what this means is that all these universities are in a funding crisis. They have no money to keep the doors open. And so what they're going to have to do is look for other sources to make up the funding, including budget cuts, firing people, and changes to the way they do admissions. Now, admissions and funding are actually tightly linked because, as I've said multiple times on this channel, these colleges know exactly who can and cannot pay full tuition when they're deciding who to accept. And so all they have to do to increase the revenue they get from tuition is accept a larger percentage of their class from the pool of students who they already know can pay full price. But then the question becomes, what do you do if you can't afford to pay full price? Well, that's where ROTC comes in. ROTC is a combination of a scholarship program and a contract that you sign with the military, where they agree to pay the entirety of your college tuition, no matter what that number is, and in exchange, you agree to serve in the military for a few years after you graduate and be commissioned as an officer. And this is a huge boost for Ivy League admissions because it's basically the federal government telling the universities that they will write a blank check in your name for whatever value of the tuition the Ivy League schools happen to say it is, because the government always pays full price. And before the comments come in, no, this is not a good option for everyone, and no, you shouldn't join the military just to get into an Ivy League school. But if it is already something that you were thinking about, joining ROTC can be a great way for you to improve your odds of getting into an amazing college and go to college for free. So if you haven't considered it yet, go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comments and I'll try to answer your questions below.